You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. I don't know where the hell DJ Envy is, but we got a special guest in the building. Miss Sherri Shepherd is here.
Hey!
How are you, Sherri?
I'm good. It's so nice to be back. I feel like I'm home in New York.
Really?
I miss it so much.
Is it awkward when you have to do the View as a guest?
No, not at all. It literally feels like I'm back with my family, and I jump right back in.
Do you know how to be a guest, or you still feel like you in there doing a little hosting, jumping on the prompters, cutting people off maybe?
Yeah, I was cutting them off all the time when I went on there Monday. It's just, but being a comic, that's what you do. If you see dead space, you just jump in.
Yeah,
you fill it in. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So it was good being on The View. It was good, but I don't want to go back.
Do you have all kinds of demands as a guest, like I need pink roses in my fitting room, my dressing room? Or...
Oh, girl, please. I mean,
just to give them a hard time.
It ain't that I need the pink roses, but if you have them, I will take them.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I will take the stuff in the dressing room.
Well, congratulations on a new show.
Thank you.
Trial and error.
I'm excited.
Yes.
It's exciting to leave something and stepping out on faith. Because leaving The View and going, I don't know if I'm going to work. I don't know if I'm going to get another job. But in leaving something that's stable and then stepping out on faith and then booking something that's so good, that's getting so, the ratings have been really, really good for the show. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited.
How did you get the role? Like, was it a situation where they wanted you and they were like, okay, we need Sherri Shepherd to play?
It was interesting because I was offered that show with Kevin James. Kevin Can Wait. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to stay in New York because my son has special needs and he was in a certain school. I was trying to stay out here. And I said, well, this is a sure thing doing Kevin Can Wait. But then they wanted to meet me for trial and error because they had heard about how wonderful I was to work with. And so I went out there and I met with them and I said, I don't want to come out here to L.A. My son is out there. But the script was so good. And they said they had John Lithgow. And I said, this might be something. So they asked me to read the script, and I didn't have my glasses, Angela. So all of the words were blurry. And I just smiled through the whole, reading. And I kept going,
that's perfect. That's your character.
And they said it was my character. I just kept going, And they said that was my character. And they called me that night, and they said, we want you. They offered me the job. And then all of a sudden I said, Lord, what am I supposed to do? Literally, what am I supposed to do? And then Kevin Can Wait. They were like, no, we got to screen test you with Kevin, but he's in Dubai filming a movie. It was all of these obstacles. And I said, Lord, if I moved to LA, because I had a house that I had bought that had been on the market for 3 years. It had been on the market. And I said, Lord, I can't have this house. Do you know somebody came and offered cash for my house? We closed in 5 days. And I left. We did close in 5 days. He paid cash for it.
How much?
For the house?
Mm-hmm.
He paid maybe 1.6.
He came with 1.6 million in
Can I tell you,
cash?
Floyd Mayweather came and looked at my house.
Wow.
He came and looked at my house because he wanted a house for his mother. And he came out there and he said, no, it's too far from New Brunswick or something, and from the relatives. And I was like, Floyd, what I'm asking for this house is stripper tips.
Right.
You could
just
buy my house and burn it up and wouldn't even miss it. I don't even know if you miss your mama. You please, this is what you would give these girls giving you lap dances. Would you buy this house?
Who was the person that had 1.6 million in cash?
Stop
being a bird,
Just tell me what they
Charlamagne.
do. What's their
He
occupation?
did the algorithms for Groupon.
Damn, you don't even know who that is, the Rob. I don't even know what that looks like.
You wouldn't even know. He can't, and this is how you know it was just divine intervention. This man, we lived near one of the premier autism centers in the world, and he had a child that was autistic.
Wow.
He walked in. All he wanted to know was how the barbecue grill worked and how the TV worked outside. And he was like, I want the house.
Damn.
We closed immediately. So I knew it was God was
plan.
saying, go to L.A. So I went to L.A. with no debt over my head, and I started doing trial and error. So it was good. And it's just my career.
Everything just fell into place. That's dope.
It fell into place with, when I sat there, when I said I didn't go back to The View, I sat there and I said, I'm scared. And I heard God saying to me, it was just like a voice, do you trust me? And I said, absolutely not.
Whoa. How you ain't got no trust in God? Now, you just told me you stepped out on faith.
I did, but stepping out on faith ain't easy. Have you ever sat there and talked to the Lord like he don't understand? I was like, Lord, do you understand I'm going through a divorce? This is about to cost me some money. My son, and you start talking slower.
I'm
just
past
in
that
case
point in
you
my
don't.
life. When the storm comes, that's when I be like, all right, God, what's up? What we doing?
See, now I'm there.
Yeah.
But right when it happened, I was just like, I I couldn't breathe. My
Panic
chest was
attack,
hurting.
yeah.
But immediately, Will Packer called me and he said, Sherri, we got this rolling right along too. Do you want it? I said, oh my gosh, absolutely. They called me from Cinderella on Broadway and they said, would you play the part of the evil stepmother with Keke Palmer? So I did that. I mean, it's just like
now
when,
you want to believe in God again when things going good.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was I was on my knees crying, going, "Thank you." I wasn't like, "Oh, okay, your faith is."
It was a rough time in your life. And,
it was a rough time.
And leaving The View. So on The View, you really just can't do other things like.
They kind of work around you. That's what I was saying. Because I did the movie Precious. I did the movie Top 5. I did Dancing with the Stars. So they work around you. But Angela, it was at the point where it was like I really wanted to do my acting. And I knew it was time to leave because I felt like if you came the next season, I would be sitting there with my cards asking you questions, being envious and being jealous of you. And I don't live in that space. So I knew it was time to leave. And God was just like, it was just on me. It's time to go. And everybody said, you crazy. You leaving a good job. I was making great money. You got this platform. And I said, it's time to go.
Right. Great risk comes great reward.
Absolutely. And you got to, and always my mantra for life is you got to run towards the very thing that you fear because on the other side of it is some awesome things. And so on the other side of that fear of sitting there in the mirror going, what am I going to do? Oh, my gosh. And God going, I got you. We done been here before, Sherri. Dream bigger. Niecy Nash said that to me also. She was like, this ain't nothing you ain't ever experienced before. So why don't you challenge God
she
for
had
bigger.
a great journey as well. When she was up here, she was telling her story, how she ended up acting after having kids and everything.
Girl, I didn't know Niecy with 2 kids when she was through. Let me tell you, when Niecy, her car got repossessed. When she called me, she had all the kids, and she said, Diva, she had a Hummer. When Hummers was big, she was like, Diva, they done took my car. I'm sitting on the curb. And I said, is you joking? She was like, I got all the babies. I need a ride. They took that daggone Hummer at the stoplight. Damn. And so I said, whenever you think about somebody's life and you say, I want to be her, you got to take everything that come along with
everything.
Everything.
I always say that.
You can't just take the blessing.
As Jay-Z once said, to be Bobby Brown then, you got to be Bobby Brown now.
You got to be Bobby Brown. Yeah, you got to take the whole enchilada. And that's the ugly.
You know what you did that I really felt?
What?
When you was online and your ex-husband had the nerve to be on this dating site talking about the amount of money that he was making, saying that he got
blackpeoplemeet.com.
Yeah.
I know I just gave y'all business, but be careful.
All your child support money, he was on there flossing.
I was on a flight. Niecy was the one that showed me. I said, how you always showing me stuff about him that's bad and you introduced me to him?
I know you couldn't help it.
Wait. And she came, she said, Diva, look at this profile I done found on Sal. And I said,
how did she find that first of all?
Because Diva, Niecy liked to matchmake. Even if the stuff don't work, she still liked to matchmake people. And she was trying to get her work on a profile for her girlfriend. And they found Sal. Because if you look up people that's over 6'4", black, and then he comes up because there ain't that many tall black men, I guess, in LA on blackpeoplemeet.com. And so his picture came up and it said salary and it said over $100,000 a year. He said,
go ahead, Sherri.
It said go ahead, Sherri.
That's your money.
Go ahead, Sherri. And it said world traveler. I said, what is it? Where has he traveled?
With your money, a lot of places.
World travel to Jersey, where you over to Hackensack and maybe freaking Patterson to get your please.
So you still paying child support, of course.
I'm child support till his son is 18. You know how they go.
How much a month?
Oh my God, it's a lot.
This is very rare.
4,100, right?
These are conversations you have with men.
It used to be 6, but we got it down because I had to pay back child support.
He tried to
but
get
this
more.
Is a killer.
You had to pay back child support?
This is a killer, girl. Angela,
you a deadbeat mommy?
I'm not a deadbeat mother, but while we were fighting in court. But the thing was, is when we was in, but wait, let me finish with the profile thing. We'll go back to that. So I was so mad I was on a plane drinking, and I had to go on a rant. I was so mad. And I don't drink, but I was drinking. I needed a drink after I saw that. And I was like, I just want y'all ladies to know that's doggone money that I gave him from the prenup. Okay, that's my money. And he's freaking world traveler. He ain't got no car. I was so, and I could, my publicist was like texting me on the plane going, stop it. And I was like, no, I ain't ready because I'm mad. But
you probably got him hot. You probably brought attention to his profile page, so he probably ended up getting a date.
Listen, that's.
But then one of his pictures was it was a picture of my hands. We had gone on a honeymoon to Anguilla. So I love Anguilla. That's the place to be. And so my hands were on his shoulder, and you could see the wedding ring, the pair of hands. And he had cut my body out but it's
but
this is why I know he did it, so that a woman could go, you know, are you married? Man. And then he could go, well, you know that actress Sherri Shepherd. Oh yeah, I know her. You know, yeah, she did me wrong. She
right there.
You know, so a woman could be like, oh, that's Sherri Shepherd. She awful, and you know, then you get the women in. But when we were in arbitration, because you know when you go through a divorce, and you got to go through arbitration, and we're figuring out child support, and he said, I want $1 million life insurance policy. And I said, $1 million life insurance policy. And it is for if something happened to me and the child support stopped, then the money would keep coming in. And I said, I'm not, who gets it? Do you know anybody with a baby daddy? They got $1 million life insurance policy?
On the mom?
Yeah, a mom. Like, she got a life insurance policy from the baby daddy in case he can't pay child support?
Hold on, explain this to me. The baby mama.
Yes, so he wanted me to pay
a
insurance policy of you know.
For him to get insurance if something happens to you.
If something happens to me. So the insurance, so the child support keeps coming. And I said, none of my friends, I got a lot of baby mamas. And never has anyone had a life insurance policy. And I said, no, I'm not. No, I said, he gonna try to kill me.
Yeah, that's what that feels like.
I was like, no, he can try to kill me. And so when you got all white attorneys and lawyers, Miss Shepherd, you are so funny. And I said, no,
he's really gonna try.
I said, I'm from Chicago. He's from Detroit. Now I'm not saying I'm not saying that he would try to kill me, himself.
Right.
But everybody knows people.
Yeah.
Hell, I had people from Dancing with the Stars, some of them Russian dancers going, we know people.
Sherri, I think you suffer from the same type of anxiety that I do. Okay. This is just
but no,
paranoid.
that is crazy for him to try to take out a life insurance policy.
It's not paranoid. I come from Chicago, Chi-Town. You from Detroit. You telling me, and I'm not, and I'm saying,
Sherri, you're not walking down the streets of Chicago no time soon, unless you want to.
You don't never come out of you. Don't even try that. When you from this, it stays in you. That's why I had to hide that from Barbara Walters all the time, because it would have scared her. One time, I'm telling Charlamagne, I was on the phone with ex-husband number 1, not 1A, ex-husband number 1, and I was cursing him out because he had pissed me off because I was going through a custody battle with Jeffrey, and I was cursing him out because I thought everybody had left The View. So it was just me in my dressing room. And he said that one thing to me, Angela, you know when a man cheat on you and you like, well, what she got that I... And he said something to me, and he said she had good...
Good pussy.
He said that, girl, and I went off. MF, and you ain't got... And when you take I'll pay for it. And I was going off.
Why are you mad at me for asking a question and I answered you?
You know what? It just... it brought out the Chi-Town in me. I did not know that Barbara Walters had walked in my room and was standing behind me. See, this is my View voice.
And
hello, everybody.
I
turned around in the middle of, MF, you don't even know me because I'll come and I will knock all of it. And I turned around and I said, hi, Barbara. Is everything okay? And she goes, dear, is there a problem?
I'm auditioning for a role.
Girl, if I could have gotten red, if I was high yellow and had gotten red, and I said, Barbara, no, everything is fine. Everything is fine. And she went, okay, dear. And she walked out. And I was like, no, I ain't even playing with. I was and I said, oh my, if you make me lose my job, I swear to oh my goodness.
You didn't think Barbara would understand? I'm sure Barbara been in that situation. That's a woman thing, right?
Yeah, but it's different when you're like upper class, 5th Park Avenue cursing out. Then, you from Chi-Town cursing out.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. They do stuff different. They just take you to court and it's litigate.
Yeah.
Like I show up at your house with my cousins and them. My sisters. Like we ready to fight. We got rollers in our hair.
Yeah, black people get it lit. White people get it litigated.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's exactly. You know how that works. So it's I did, and I said, okay, I got to control myself. But it was that kind of thing. And I said, no, I'm not doing no $1 million because I think he going to kill me. So we got it down. So I said, I don't know anybody who had a life insurance policy.
But, people they can do that, though.
You do it. So I made,
People can do that, like, on their employees and things like that. You can take out insurance policies on your employees.
Really? Well, I wrote a letter. I wrote a letter to the courts. I was like, I'm just letting you know I'm protesting this policy. If something happened to me, I don't care if I
don't give him no money.
If I get gangrene and cut my foot off and something, I die. He did it. I just want you to know that. I don't care if I just go on the food fast and I die. I'm just telling you. Look at everything. Look at all the circumstances.
Well, you look really good though.
Thank you, girl. I'm 135 days off of sugar.
Oh, okay.
So you're diabetic.
I'm type 2 diabetic. So I'm off sugar, and it just like being off sugar changed my life. I'm much more alert. I'm just clear-headed. I'm focused. I'm more in a forgiveness mode. I mean, like literally, I ain't saying, like even the toxins are out of my skin. So I'm a little bit lighter. I'm not high yellow, but I'm just a little bit lighter. You know, it's because all the toxins are gone, infections gone. It just really, when I say,
aren't you like, man, I wish I would have went to the doctor earlier and figured out what I needed to do?
I do. I'm not saying it's hard, because for 3 weeks I was curled up naked in a fetal position moaning.
Right.
Sugar
is like a detox.
It's more addictive than cocaine. It really is.
I never did coke. Well, I smoked cocaine once in a blunt with some weed. I never
Did you get addicted to it though?
Nah. I liked it though. Great high. I'd do it again by accident. Well, not now because I'm 40.
You do it again by accident.
At my younger age, I would.
I'm
I'm very addicted
doing
to
No,
that.
not at
sugar.
40.
Trust me.
Not at 40.
know.
At 40, you would do that cocaine laced with all that stuff, and you get Bell's palsy.
What the hell is Bell's palsy?
Yeah, exactly. Your face, one side of your face just fall. That's what happened at 40 when you be trying to
get a
do
fake
drugs.
stroke.
You get a face stroke.
Yeah.
The nerves will freeze up. You don't see. Here's the thing: you can't be starting drugs middle age.
No,
If you gonna start drugs
right.
and get addicted, you got to do that stuff early. Get addicted. But when you try to start drugs and you get addicted middle age, stuff like your heart start hurting.
Yeah.
Like then your penis ain't working
There you
good.
go.
Like it's just all kinds of maladies that come.
So you did coke before?
I've never. No, I was a Jehovah's Witness. I never did.
I grew up
was
Jehovah's Witness
I know
too.
you did. I
Yeah.
was so sheltered. I never did any of that.
That's crazy
I-
you say that because I grew up around a bunch of witnesses and they all was on something.
Are you serious? No, I was so nerdy and sheltered, and it was very strict upbringing. So I was in field service all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. So I was very, and plus I have a lot of addicts in my family. So it scared me to see. I would, it would always be we would always get together on Sunday and be playing spades, and somebody would start fighting, and somebody, my uncle was he's an alcoholic. He got shot 8 times by my auntie. He didn't feel it.
That
It
liquor.
was all that liquor, and I would see that. I would see fighting all the time, and I never wanted that life for me. So whenever I was so sheltered, I remember being at a party when I first started stand up, and they were passing around something, and people were putting stuff on their gums, and I didn't know what they were doing. I had no idea. I was so naive.
You're rubbing that coke on their gums.
They was rubbing it on their gums, and somebody had a little dollar bill and some foil, and I was just like, what? Oh my gosh!
Being
I
so
know.
sheltered and starting to do stand-up comedy, right? How was that like for your family?
They didn't. They thought it was the devil, the world of the devil, and they didn't want me to do it. But now, they take credit for everything. They do. I was with her. I supported her. But I saw a lot of stuff growing up. I'm not growing up, but when I was doing stand up, and I was just so sheltered. Like we were talking on somewhere about like people doing menage a trois and all kinds of sex stuff going on, and all that stuff was so. It was just I didn't know what it was. It was, and I remember my girlfriend. She passed away, but she used to be on Monique's show, The Parkers. Yvette Wilson.
God bless the dead.
She used to be on The Parkers, and she was dating a rapper at the time. And I swear to gosh, they were in a room one time. And I had went to see her. And
They asked you for a menage?
No, but I didn't know what that was.
Okay.
I didn't know what that was. They called me up to the room because she was like, "Come hang out with everybody." So I remember it was MC Brain. It was at the time. It was MC Brain. It was all of these rappers and it was hanging out. So she called me up because she was dating a rapper. It was her boyfriend, and she called me up.
Who was the rapper?
It was the two. It was and I will tell him it was Eric B and Rakim. Those were the two. So who was the one that didn't talk?
Eric B.
Yes.
It was Eric B. He was the one that never talked. And so they were up in the room, and I remember I was sitting there, and I was so like literally, I had 2 French braids in my hair, white bobby socks, and white tennis shoes with overalls with the bow. This is how sheltered I was. And I remember Yvette, and I remember Yvette had been drinking, and they were kissing, and I was sitting in the chair like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? Like what?
You're
Like
supposed to kiss Rakim.
No,
Eric B.
I was sitting. No, it's not Rakim. It was Eric B.
I know, but Rakim was. Oh,
No,
Rakim
Rakim was
wasn't
not
with him.
there.
Oh, okay, got you.
MC
not
Brains
there.
was there.
No, he was downstairs with
Okay.
with all the other people. I don't want to think it was like an orgy.
Okay, what's going on?
Got
Yeah,
you.
and then now y'all got me a hoe. Okay, it wasn't that. It was just a nice classic menage. So
You sitting there getting a free
I'm
peep
sitting
show.
in the chair and I'm watching and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! What am I supposed to do? And they just kissed and I remember, gosh, I would love to see Eric B now. And I remember he looked at me and I was like, what are you looking at me for?
You said that?
Yeah, no, in my eyes.
Oh.
My eyes said that. Like, what are you looking at me for? My eyes were like really wide. What are you looking at me for? And I remember Yvette looked at me. She's like, come on. I was like, my mom told me about this. This from the and I remember he was looking at me, he was just staring at me, and I was like,
And you were just staring back, going.
This
in
how
your
I help.
head.
This is why I don't like older men with younger girls because they don't know nothing. They're so you got these girls who are sheltered and they're out here in this Hollywood life and they don't know. And I remember running to the door and Yvette was like, "Where you And I was like, I gotta go get on the bus. And go
I'm
home.
going to hell if I don't get out of here.
I gotta go back and field service. That was my almost.
How did she pass away, if you don't mind me asking?
Yvette had kidney. She had kidney problems.
Gotcha.
And she was so and she was like just so much life and bubbly. Her and Jamie Foxx were best friends. And at the end, Cat Williams was so great because he actually took her in and took care of her. So who's nominated for an Emmy? Cat Williams.
Unbelievable.
But the Emmy shot looked like his mugshot. Yeah. It looked just, if you look at all of the Emmy nominees, they're so beautiful. And then there's Cat. I think they took the shot when they had arrested him.
I like hearing these stories about great things that people who we know have done, like behind the scenes, that we might not otherwise know. Because sometimes you see stories about people and you're like, oh, okay, Cat Williams is dope. Because you might see him like on TMZ and be like, oh.
No. I think a lot of people don't know about Cat is he's very, very generous. Like he had a big mansion in the hills, and he took in Yvette, and she had her own room and bathroom, and he really just cared for her for a long time. In this, but you also had to go past the bodyguard who had a gun who was sitting there. When you went to Cat's place, you always felt like it was going to be, what was that scene? Was it The Godfather where all them people came over the wall? That's how you felt in Cat's place. Like, it's just going to be a bunch of people that are going to come kill us, and they're not going to find us till next week. But he's a very generous person. So you catch him on the right Tuesday, you'll get a Tesla.
Now, Sherri, for yourself.
So you need a car, Sherri. I think I can procure one for you.
For you, Sherri, growing up, how did your parents explain sex to you? Like, what did they tell you about sex? Did they ever have that talk?
My mother said, keep your dress down and your panties up. Don't cock your legs open for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. That was all the sex talk I got. And to this day, I was like, who is Tom, Dick, and Harry?
I know who Dick is.
Oh, Lord.
He was like, I found that out, and he's very, very nice. That was all the sex talk I got. I was very sheltered. I knew nothing about sex.
So how did you find out about it? Like,
when I lost my virginity.
That's the first time you found out about sex?
I knew about it because I heard about it from the kids in school. And this is what made me so mad, because all the girls in school was like, oh my God, you're going to be moaning and you're going to be screaming. And so that's what I thought it was like. And you know what I got? I got diarrhea the next day. That's what I got when I lost my virginity. I'm like, where are all the moaning?
Did he put it in the wrong place?
Yeah. Wrong hole.
Oh my God.
You might still be a virgin.
Why diarrhea?
I think I was stressed. No, please, I don't want nobody thinking it was no backdoor stuff. Ever, never.
Like,
I don't even know about that.
First time?
Don't you put that out there.
First time, Sherri? Wow.
That's why you can't say nothing over here.
Wow.
It was not.
So what was the experience like?
Because he climbed up in my friend's window, and I thought I was going to be moaning and groaning. It didn't happen. It was Gilbert. His name was Gilbert. He was Puerto Rican. He had green eyes.
Damn, Gilbert gonna be on Instagram today. I'm Gilbert. That was me. She shot it out.
I gave her diarrhea.
I don't know if that's nothing to brag about. Gave that girl diarrhea.
Yo, sexually transmitted diarrhea is nuts. That is stupid. Wow.
Stop. And then I didn't know nothing about it. And do you know, I wrote about it in my diary. And my sister found my diary. And she gave it to my mother. And my mother gave it to the elders of the congregation.
And you got this fellowship.
My God,
I didn't get this fellowship. I got put on public reproof.
Okay.
And so it was 3 old men who brought me in the room with my father. They made my father sit there, and they questioned me for 3 hours. Very, very... and as a teenager, that's something that's so intimate. And they asked me stuff like, did he digitally penetrate you?
Ooh.
I don't know what digital... I didn't know what that meant. Yeah, but you look at your girl, you know all the lingo, Angela.
I do.
She the waving finger. I didn't know what that meant at that time. And with my dad sitting right there, and they asked me all of these terrible questions. It was very traumatic. And then at the end, they said, were you stimulated? Did you enjoy it? You got 3 old men asking you if you enjoyed it.
That's
and
awful.
see, now I'm just like, wait a minute. Y'all was just, wait a minute. You was an old man. I'm a young girl. You asked me
why are you asking me these
questions? You're trying to get your
Yeah.
rocks off.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it was really
Did
traumatic.
they ask you about the diarrhea?
I did not tell them that.
Okay,
I've only
okay.
told you and Angela
Gotcha.
and this entire room of 25 people.
Got you.
And everybody watching.
And everybody listening and watching. My son, who listens to the show, now knows his mama had got diarrhea when she lost her virginity.
Whoa.
Jeez Louise, Jeffrey, turn off the radio and go to summer camp, would you?
Listen, so for the kids out there, don't do it. You'll get diarrhea.
Thank you.
That's
Please,
that's
how we want.
By the way, that's a good thing to tell your daughters.
That's a good thing to tell
I got
your
2 of them. I'm definitely telling one
Tell
of them.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And so they put me on public reproof, which is it's like being on punishment. So they came in front of the congregation and they said, Sherri Shepherd, there's been a sexual sin, and so she's on public reproof. So they couldn't talk to me. They didn't talk to me for like
I've never heard that. I've always heard that when they disfellowship somebody, but I've never heard them say why the person got disfellowship.
No, they didn't go into details. Just sexual sin. So it's a public. There's private reproof and there's public reproof. Private is they just punish you. Nobody knows about it. Public is when they go in front of the congregation and they say there's been a sexual sin, so people can't talk to you for a period of time.
Damn.
They won't even talk to you. Now, if you're disfellowship, which is excommunication, they treat you like you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
But me, they couldn't talk to me for a period of time. And I was all said, they told me I couldn't talk to boys for a period of 1 year. I'm like, but what, if Gilbert, I see him in school. I can't smile at him. I couldn't smile at him. I couldn't talk to any boys.
And he had no idea what was going on?
Gilbert had no idea. Gilbert was just
Gilbert
like, I'm trying to.
She just hit it and quit it.
Yeah, Gilbert was like, he wanted another date. But I couldn't talk to boys for a year. And then
did your sister feel bad that she did that? And
I still don't let my sister forget it. I do not let my sister forget it. My sister has 5 kids and is grown, and I still go, I hate you for doing that, for tearing the pages out of my diary and letting people know.
I wonder what the word in the Kingdom Hall was. Like, as soon as they announced that, they were like, who hit? Who hit in the hall?
Well, they said Sherri. Well, yeah, who was it? They wanted to know. But they also told me I couldn't do stand-up. So
wow.
Oh, you was doing stand-up then?
No, later on, I was still a witness, and I wanted to get into stand-up. That was very much discouraged. It was all about getting just something to take care of yourself, your job, but everything was about going out and field service. And so they told me I couldn't do stand-up. And I said, but I love making people laugh.
But do you love Jehovah more?
But do you love Jehovah more? That was what it was.
You can do both, though.
Yeah, it was just really discouraged because they felt it would be a distraction. They felt it would be a distraction being out in that sinful world. And I did encounter some stuff, but I stayed fine.
Do you still go to stuff like you go to Memorial and stuff like that?
No, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I'm a born again Christian. I went. God really has a sense of humor because the first church I went to, because we were taught churches are from the devil. First church I went to was a Black Pentecostal church in L.A. And I didn't know what they were speaking in a different language. They were shouting and hollering and screaming. When you're at the Kingdom Hall,
quiet.
It's very quiet. It's like from house to house, from door to door.
Yep.
Jehovah's word we spread.
Even when it's not like a fiery preacher.
No, it's no fiery preaching. You raise your hand. They pass the mic to you. You answer a question. It's very calm. It's very. You go to a Pentecostal church. It's and it's that. So that was an adjustment for me.
Now, why you always leaving your glasses places? I heard you earlier say you left your glasses when you went to audition. Why you always leaving your glasses?
I do. I wear glasses. I got to get contact lenses.
It's your fault. I got me a sassy picture
no,
online.
That's my fault. When you left your glasses here. I said, Charlamagne, I said, I'm going to tell her, I'm going to send
you never
her a
seen
picture.
That pic?
She sent me that picture. I said, and you look cute. And I told my assistant, if you don't get my glasses from Charlamagne, you gonna be working for Charlamagne.
So I said, Charlamagne, take a picture in the glasses. I'm gonna send it to her.
I was so mad.
That picture went
everywhere.
They still use it right now. It's like an auntie picture. They got all the aunties: me, Meek Mill, Steve Harvey, Snoop.
You look so cute with my glasses on. It was something very little auntie sexy about you. But I told my assistant Edie, who loves you, she won't watch my son because she listens to this show. And he's like, Mommy, can she turn it on Disney? She will not. Edith Harris, she wanted me to tell you. She loves the show.
Thank you, Edith.
And I said, I'm going to fire you. You're going to be working for Charlamagne if you don't get my daggone glasses.
Now, did you embarrass yourself when you recently met Janet Jackson on the plane?
Can I tell you, oh my God, I didn't even know Janet was on that plane. I was with David Arnold, the comedian, and I didn't hear that baby. I didn't hear Janet. And I'm telling you, like when these people at concert come up from the floor and smoke, I think that's what Janet Jackson did on Delta. Like she came up from the floor and then she was just there. She looked so cute. She had the little dookie ball on the top of her head and she looked so cute with a little east side, but he was crying a lot. And so she said he's 18 months because she was walking him up and down the aisle. And she kept asking the flight attendant for a chocolate chip cookie. And I'm going, Janet, that's the last thing you want to get at baby because it's going to be a great high, but to come down is going to be bad. Yeah. And so she was very hands-on. But we realized everybody in first class was with Janet. It was her whole, I don't know how I got in there.
Right, you slid in.
I was going to Essence. Yeah, I don't know how I slid in. But this is the only time I wanted to help her. I wanted to offer her my boobs.
Like, I'll take care of
You know what? Because and I love my boobs, but they have really served their purpose. They have been so faithful to me and wonderful, and they have turned heads. But at this moment, I just felt like they are like a down pillow. I just want to tell her, just give me Eastside. He will put his head on my boobs and go right to sleep. Cause I was like, she don't know me like that.
I'm shocked Janet was flying commercial.
I couldn't believe it.
I didn't think it was possible.
I said she was married to Abby Dobby Doobie. And so, I don't know his name. This is Abby Dobby Doobie. He's a zillionaire in Dubai, one of the richest families in Dubai. And I'm going, and that's his son. I just thought she would be on a private plane
I would
with her
die
people.
if I saw Janet on a plane.
I almost did. Like, I looked at everything. When she went to the bathroom, I kind of meandered up and just kind of stood there because I wanted to see. I was looking at everything. What? And so I said to her, because David got mad at me, because I was like, hey, Janet, thank you for giving me front row tickets when you came on The View. Remember, you came on The View. And she was like,
I want you to know who I am.
Yeah, and because me and Janet, we so close. And I was like, yeah, because, I'm Sherri. And she's like, oh, Sherri Shepherd. And so we were talking like that. And I use The View as my calling card for everything. Mm-hmm. Like, if I want to get with a dude, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm on The View, because they don't even know I left yet. Right. And they still think I'm Whoopi. And I'm like, And so I go to them. I go, you know what? Like, if I was trying to talk to you, Charlamagne, you weren't married. And I'll be like, you know what? You should come on and co-host with us for Guy Day Friday. And so you should, and then you'd be interested. And I'll be like, well, give me your phone number. Let's talk. Let's talk about what you're going to talk about. So doing that is, that View calling card is it, girl.
So you was using what you got to get what you want.
To get what you want. Even for my son. If he goes, I want to meet John Cena, I'll call the WWE and be like, hey.
Sherri Shepherd
from The View. I'm from Chicago.
You're using your position to get guys. You pay child support.
Listen, she's a man.
I'm a man. I'm a boss. What can I say? What can I say? And if you come over my house, I'm going to be like, my son getting up. Get out. I got to get him to camp.
Now, I want to make sure we talk about trial and error some more, because I did get to see the first episode.
You saw the first episode? What'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was funny. The one part that I was like, I laughed, but then I was like, damn, should I laugh at that? What part you think that was?
When I jumped up through the ceiling?
No. I was going to say, when the cop said I could do whatever I want, I'm a cop. It doesn't matter. And I laughed, and then I was like, damn, I don't want to laugh at that.
Oh, girl, well, it's even more of that.
True.
There's an episode in there where I try to be a cop, and they go, let me turn off the dash cam, because they give me something to beat somebody with. So, we do stuff, it's farcical, and we make it funny.
Right.
And we go there because we want you to laugh. We're not trying to make any kind of social or racial statement or anything like that. It's just like, we just want to make you laugh.
And then I felt okay laughing because then he smashed the
he smashed the thing with his gun. It's like, if you like,
I was like, okay.
A lot of people don't know, if you like Parks and Recreation or The Office, you'll like this kind of show.
The Office used to be my favorite show.
It's weird like that mixed in with murder. Mm-hmm. That is what it is. And that comes on tomorrow on Thursday on NBC. But I wanted to tell y'all, please come and support, because I have a movie coming out, my first dramatic lead, and it's called Brian Banks. And if you remember, Brian Banks was a football player in Long Beach. He got recruited to USC, and he was falsely accused of rape by a girl in his school.
Wow.
And he they had him plead no contest, which 90% of young males, they have plead no contest. And they wouldn't let him talk to his mother. He was 17. He had just turned 17. And they told him, you're an A student, you'll be out. And he pled no contest, and they sentenced him to 6 years in an adult prison. And he served 6 years. And when he got out, he had to wear an ankle bracelet for 6 years, had to do the pedophile label. And the girl who accused him of rape contacted him on Facebook because she wanted to get with him. So he filmed her she didn't know she was being filmed, and she admitted that he did not rape her. So he got the Innocence Project to represent him, and he got exonerated. But this was years. But he was supposed to go pro and play football.
It ruined his life.
It ruined his life. But Brian Banks is such a charismatic man, and he is forgiven. But his mother got him through the whole prison system when he was a teenager. And so we made a movie. It was with Greg Kinnear, and I play his mother. And I'm telling you, it was so hard to get this audition because people see me as funny. So it's hard to get dramatic auditions. And so they wanted Viola Davis. It was all about, they wanted Viola. Then the next person was Octavia. Then they wanted Jada Pinkett. And then I was just like, Lord, please bless Viola to book something. I don't never pray for nobody to break their legs. I'm like, bless
Christ.
Viola to book something, bless Jada. And see, Jada got a blessing. She in Budapest right now with Will. So I'm like, bless him to go on a real big trip. Her and Will to get in marriage. They want to just go and sex each other out. Bless her. And so they wouldn't see me. I finally got the audition. Then they lost my audition tape. Tom Shadyac, who directed all of Jim Carrey's movies and wrote The Nutty Professor, is directing. And they found my video. So I booked the movie. I was so thankful. Yep. And I'm playing his mother. So you'll never see me smiling if I'm not moaning, groaning, screaming, crying. And Aldous Hodge, who was on Underground. Mm-hmm. Aldous Hodge is playing Brian Banks. So it's an amazing movie.
That sounds like an interesting story.
Mm-hmm. It feels like what?
That sounds like a very interesting story.
Because it really talks about how the justice system fails our young men.
Right.
You know, and they get them to plead this no contest because a lot of our young men can't afford attorneys.
And they also think they're not going to get any jail time.
They think they're not going to get any.
And you could go home.
And that's what they tell them. Take this and you can go home and go back to your life. And they don't realize that. And when he got sentenced as a teenager to an adult prison, it just changed his life forever. So he did get to play 3 games for the Atlanta Falcons. He did get to do that. But now he helps the Innocence Project, you know, get people who are falsely accused off.
How do you think that movie is going to be received in this era, though? Because we're in the middle of the Me Too Time's Up movement. And it's like accusations or convictions now.
I think it's, you know, I'm really hoping that it will be received. I'm hoping that this movie will give mother, you know, as a mother doing this, it was very hard for me because I have a black son and I'm trying to teach Jeffrey now. It's hard. People may not like you because of your skin color. So this really resonated, and I hope that it inspires people, you know, about forgiveness, but also taking action and really being involved. You know, his mother mortgaged off her house, and she just hired an attorney. So she didn't know anything. They failed her, the attorney. So it's like really about sticking with your kids, teaching your children. She did everything right. She thought if I put him in football, if I put him in this, and to keep him off the streets, but it still got him. So I'm hoping that it inspires some people to see that we got to reform this justice system because it's not working for us.
We've been seeing so many different instances, you know, just in particular now of things that people wrongfully convicted, people who end up going to jail and being on probation for long periods of time. And and when you don't have the money or the resources. Or the knowledge.
Which is what happened with the Central Park 5, those young men. They came on The View. You know, you don't have the resources. One of the boys had a divorce attorney representing him. So, which is an amazing documentary to watch.
If
you've never seen it, please watch it. But
don't they have a series coming out too?
They do have a series coming out. So this is the thing of we really need to our knowledge. We got to know about that, and we got to really work on reforming this justice system because it's crazy. And you got to tell me, Charlamagne, my son is 13 years old. He is hormonal. He has changed. He challenges me. He's sullen. He's moody. I don't know what to do. He wake up every day with a heart on. I don't know what to do.
That's normal.
That's actually healthy.
That's normal every day. Like there's no pill I could give him. No amoxicillin. Like 5 pills, 4 pills, 3 pills.
I'm 40. I haven't had one in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he should be glad.
I
think that's very normal for men to wake up. That means they're healthy.
Really, like literally, I prayed with him at night, and we were praying, and he was praying, and I saw the covers moving, and I said, Jeffrey. What are you doing?
Stop doing them sexy prayers with your son, Sherri.
But he's having, but that's what he said, Sherri. He said, I'm touching myself. And I said, Jeffrey, you can't pray and touch yourself. And he said, well, but mommy, it feel good when I touch myself, and it feel good when I pray to Jesus. And I said, boy, I didn't even know what to say. I just walked out the room.
It makes sense.
I just walked out the room. I said, what is it? I'm at a loss. Like, I don't have
at the same time, you don't want to tell him it's bad.
It's bad. You can't touch yourself. Right. Like, my son is so honest. And so.
Two things can be true, though. It can feel good when he touches himself, and it can feel good when he prays to Jesus.
That's what he said. Right. It does. And he's like, so they're mutually not exclusive. Why can't I do them together? And I thought,
you're going to get diarrhea?
You're going to get diarrhea, boy. I am going through this thing. He liked these girls. And you know what it is? And there's not that many little black girls in his school. And he because he came in and he said, Mommy, I like white girls. That's what he said. And because there's only a couple black girls. But, I learned a lot about men from my son. The little black girls get mean with him. Like, sometimes they don't want to speak. Sometimes they act crazy. And he's like, why they act so crazy? And I'm like, I don't know. So I keep trying to tell the little girls to be nicer so he can come towards you. But the other girls see him. They go, hey, Jeffrey. And they want to feel his hair. And so I'm trying to.
The little white girls are nicer than the black girls?
He said they're nicer. He said, look, and Camille, she always moves her neck. And she said, don't talk to me today, Jeffrey. I don't want that flower. And he said, she keep moving her neck. And I said, well, unfortunately, Jeffrey, that's going to last your whole life. That's just how we are. Our neck moves. So I don't know if you have any advice.
You just gotta let him grow.
Snoop said he would mentor him, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, you just gotta let him grow and let him be around a lot of other strong male figures.
Okay.
I had that in my life, but then I also had I had the strong male figures who, like my father, would cheat on my mom, and then when I asked him why he cheated on my mom, he'd look me in the eye and tell me, one day you're going to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right, so I'm going to have to, well, maybe one day I'm going to drop him off with you.
And you know, I met around some more kids that look like him, too. You know, sometimes it's hard, too, for kids. I know I went from going from public school with all, black kids to going to private school where I was, one of a handful. And it did feel really awkward. I was glad that I was able to grow up, knowing who I was. I lived in a black neighborhood, went to an all-black school. But then I went to a school that was predominantly white. And it's a different experience.
It is.
The black kids that grew up going to schools like that, they acted so different than I did.
I know that's how my son is. He's a little nerd. I love him, but he be the little nerd trying to rap.
Activity, so he could be around some of his own,
Girl, my son tried to do the break. He think he could break dance and rap, and I'm like, oh baby, I got to get you around. Like we got to join Jack and Jill. This is
Jack and Jill is great.
Oh gosh.
Now, why do you like tap water? I mean, tap water over bottled water.
I don't understand why anybody in New York drinks bottled water. Your tap water is liquid of the gods.
Really?
Whatever filtration system y'all got is amazing.
Who told
The
you
New
that?
York water is the cleanest water ever, everywhere.
Really?
Yes, it is. You didn't know
I
that?
had
Look
no
that up.
idea.
I didn't
Yes,
know
it
that.
is. Your filtration system is one of the best in the world.
Because I definitely never drink tap water.
Girl, you better drink that tap water.
But I guess I make ice, and that's with tap water.
And that's
then
what
you
tap.
put ice and
No,
stuff in there.
don't get. Why are you drinking that doggone big old bottle of water? Drink New York tap water.
I did
It don't
not
even
know.
take California. You better not touch it. Your teeth gonna fall out. New York is
Yeah.
the best. Not New Jersey. New York is the best tap water ever.
Well, you put me on to something.
Yeah, and you say you ain't your thing ain't got hard in 2 weeks. Maybe you need to
Yeah.
drink the
2
New York
weeks,
tap
man.
water.
I didn't know this was happening, Sherri, until he just
2
told
weeks. You know,
so.
I got some. You know what? I
don't
got
know
some
that I
baby
wanted to know
aspirin.
that.
Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
Some baby aspirin?
There's some baby aspirin. Maybe the baby aspirin. I don't know. I'm not.
What could be
Maybe
wrong
I'll talk
with
to
you?
Jeffrey because he
I
that a-
haven't thought about it. You just be working and you be busy.
Is that
and,
a
you know.
erectile dysfunction?
That's what it
No.
sounds like to
sounds like
me.
I just ain't tried. I'm gonna think.
You shouldn't have to
I'm
try.
gonna pray
You
to
should
Jesus and see what happens. That's what I'm gonna do. Say a prayer
Yeah,
for me,
maybe
Sherri.
touch yourself.
say
Do
a prayer
something.
for
Talk
me.
to it. Be gentle with it. Maybe it's all that heavy handling you've been doing all these years. It's freaking is numb now. I keep telling people, don't do it so hard. It's good. When you wake up, you're 40, and then stop lacing cocaine with methamphetamine and all
that'll
that
do
other
it.
mess.
You know what's funny? You
Shoot.
said that earlier. I was on vacation. I was in Anguilla.
Yeah.
So that was 2 weeks ago because it was
Mm-hmm.
my birthday, and I was smoking weed and drinking.
Yeah,
I ain't
see?
did that in a while.
Let's see. You went right down to that penis.
All
Your
right.
penis high as all
You're
get. I'm
right.
like, I don't even feel like getting up now. I'm so
Right.
tired.
Out of
Recovery
order.
time take too
Yeah,
much.
that's the thing when you get in your 40s, that snapback.
Oh,
you don't have the
man.
snapback.
You're right.
So
What's
you-
great though for women is as we get older, we get better. Like
Yeah, you
You
think
get
that
better.
till you do some
But see,
cocaine.
this is what I like. No, ain't no cocaine. I'm a cougar now. Like
Right.
I like literally. I told Chadwick, I was like, okay,
Chadwick?
as in
Chadwick
Bozeman.
Boseman.
Chadwick is grown.
As in, Chadwick and Michael B. Jordan.
Well, Chadwick older than Mike. Chadwick like 40 something.
Yeah, but still, he's younger than me.
Oh, okay,
and even
I
that
got you,
Michael Jordan, and then freaking the Kofi, freaking all of them.
terrible. Yeah.
And I told Kofi that I was like, you need to come on The View.
Their penis don't work, so.
Well,
They ain't been through what I've been through.
is that what you say?
Yeah, they ain't been through what I've been through.
See, I like at this point, I'm like, young is very, very cool because they don't know.
Because we
nothing.
reach our sexual peak like as we get older.
Yeah.
For men, they reach theirs younger.
And they like
so.
it because we know what we want. So we can tell you what to do. It ain't no sitting up there acting like the thing ain't even in and you acting like, oh my God, okay, it ain't even in. Okay, shut up already. Like we know exactly what we want. We can tell you what we want. And you know what's going on? We can make you breakfast. when we're done.
Hey,
We ain't going to be doing no
That's the both
Postmates and
worlds,
Uber
baby.
Eats.
There you
We
go.
going to get up and cook.
there you go.
There you go.
Some good Chicago
Maybe
Midwest
that's what you
breakfast.
need is some grits,
Grits,
some eggs,
yes,
and some bacon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yo, sucker, just sit up and go get breakfast. That's what I'm talking about.
That's my final question.
All right, wait, you got to come see me. If you in New York, y'all got to come see me at Levity Live tonight in West Nyack.
Okay.
And if you in Los Angeles, come see me at the Comedy Union one night only Friday. Come and see me. And if you in San Francisco in August, I'll be at Cobb's Comedy Club. And I'm on the Ladies Night tour with Nene Leakes and Lonnie Love and Adele Givens. So
Okay.
come out and see my comedy.
Levity Live is popping.
Levity Live, West
keep hearing all
Nyack.
the-
Well, it's
yeah.
not live
Makes it
anyway,
going
so
in.
they ain't gonna hear you. They're not gonna hit us till tomorrow. So the show will be over.
Oh, so don't come to Levity Live because they're
I won't be
freaking.
there.
We'll go. It might be Coco Brown or Charlotte, but so still go.
Well, okay. Final question. Name something a lady cop might do to her husband in the bedroom.
My initial answer on the Family Feud was cut his penis off. That's what I said. I hit the buzzer. That's what I was.
You said it with
thinking.
such conviction.
I did. I was. You know what? Because I was thinking about the ex-husband 1A. Because he had served some papers on me, and I was already mad when I hit the buzzer, and I said, cut his penis off.
You know how many young boys got scared when they heard that?
Hell yeah.
That's why you have to teach a young man to be secure. Anybody that was secure, their penis was not twitching.
Okay.
See? Did your penis twitch?
No.
When I said that?
It doesn't move
Well,
now,
it don't
so it
work,
doesn't
but
matter, yeah.
aside from that.
I had to go back and listen to the question again. I was like, did I miss the question? What was the
I know
question?
Steve Harvey goes, Sherri, don't be doing your therapy on this show. Don't work out your marriage issue, sure.
Would you like to answer that question?
It would, in my head, it would have been cuff him. That was the second question.
Okay, there we go.
It just, I didn't even think about it.
So what you heard was, what would you do to husband 1A in the bedroom?
Yeah, cut his penis off.
Gotcha.
So now I got all these people going, this is terrible what you said. And I'm like, I'm a comic, y'all. Stop it with all of this.
Genital mutilation.
People got mad. It's like if you're a comic, you supposed to tell the emperor he has no clothes. That's what we do as comics. Not turn your phones off and then I'm going to tell you. So it's just like, relax.
Yeah.
Relax. If you know I ain't gonna cut your penis off, you already good.
Fine,
There you go.
All right, it's Sherri Shepherd, y'all.
Trial and error. Make sure y'all check it out. It starts,
it's every Thursday
Right.
on NBC, and then Brian Banks is coming out in December in movie theaters near you.
Sherri Shepherd, it's The Breakfast Club. Thank you for coming.